Hello, this is the daily Forex report for January 24th. We are looking at the U.S. Japanese yen pair first. This pair created somewhat of a doji bar today. Is still moving sideways overall. Look for this pair to potentially go as high as 83.27, possibly as low as 81.90. Look for some resistance around 83.00. Look for some support around 82.25. Now the Euro USD, this pair gapped up. It did retrace that gap, formed somewhat of a doji bar as well, closing down a little bit, looking for it to potentially go up and hit resistance at 136.95, possibly moving down and hitting support around 135.40. Now let's take a look at the pound US dollar pair. This particular pair closed down, created an inside bar. Moving sideways overall. Look for this pair to potentially go as high as 160.91, possibly as low as 158.48. Look for some resistance around 160.40 and look for some support around 158.95. Now the US Swiss, this pair created a gap trade, did retrace that gap but closed lower, broke through and closed below previous support. We are looking for this pair to potentially go as high on a reversal up to 0.9678, possibly as low as 0.9351. Look for some resistance around 0.9575 and look for some support around 0.9450. Now, as far as news announcements go, we have the Bank of Japan releasing their rate decision at midnight Eastern Time. The consensus is they're going to hold at 0.1%. Now we also have the pound releasing their gross domestic product for the first quarter at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on that is that it's dropped from 0.7% down to 0.5%. Gross domestic product year to date is showing a drop as well from 2.7% down to 2.6%. We also have the Canadian dollar releasing their consumer price index for December, showing an increase from 2.0% to 2.5%. That's being released at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. We also have the U.S. consumer confidence for January at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on that one is that it's moved up from 52.5 to 54.3. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? We have the U.S. Japanese yen pair. This pair, if you back out a little ways, you can see that we have some trend lines that we could draw. Right here, hitting several of the tops are coming very close. Even this one lines up with it to a large degree. Then we have this low, and if you line up this low, you can see that this market is starting to consolidate down and look for a breakout from that. Take a look at what the first potential exits would be for this one, and then maybe a secondary look as well. To the upside, a break right here, grab about 15 pips or so, then look to see if it'll go another 15 for about 32 pips. To the downside, the break, you get a little bit more as far as pips, looking to grab about 30 out of the gate and then down to about 60 at the next target. About equal distance from the buy entry or the sell entry on that one. Now the pound US dollar pair, this pair created an inside bar over the last session, very close on the highs, but it didn't quite break it. We have a potential, I believe, for it to break the break to the upside more than to the downside, just due to the fact that it's closer to the high. There we go. And we have potential for this. Let me zoom back in. A break to the upside, basically your first exit you're going to be looking for about 20 pips and then up to 43 pips, but this 43 pip mark or 40 pip mark you're running into some very strong areas of resistance at that point. So be aware of that. To the downside, grabbing about 30 pips. Well, that about wraps us up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.